An overnight apartment fire is causing road closures this morning.
So taking a live look at the area right now, Maple Street is closed from 5th to 7th Avenue so that crews can continue trying to work in this area. Now, some of the crews there actually told us that the fire is out and that it's mostly just smoke at this point. We actually spoke to one of the residents this morning who recalls the moment that he had to evacuate.
Firefighters broke my door upstairs and they thought maybe the fire was in my house, so they broke through my door, and then they're like, you gotta get out, and grab my cat. I was trying to get out, and the cat's going crazy in my arms, and then as I was leaving my apartment, I could see into his apartment, and it was just covered in fire.
Well, we also learned that firefighters telling us that they believe that it is contained to one apartment. We don't know the cause of the fire right now, but we are asking investigators those questions. This is a developing situation. We will continue to bring you more information here on Up with KREM and on our website, krem.com.
And weather-wise, going to be one of the hottest days we've seen in quite some time, with temperatures pushing 90 for this afternoon. So as we get right to it, these are the expected high temperatures across the inland Northwest. I go 89 in Spokane, which would be a record high by a couple degrees for today. There will be a couple areas in North Idaho pushing low 90s, including in Lewiston. That actually would be a couple degrees shy of the record. So in Lewiston, that record's 93. In Coeur d'Alene, it's 89. In Spokane, the record is 87. And we are within a degree or two in either direction of all of the expected records across the region for today. Right now, still about 45-50 minutes to sunrise. 57 degrees is very mild for this late September morning, but those temperatures will warm up pretty quickly. Once we get to about a couple hours past sunrise, 9-10 a.m., we'll start to notice a big difference as those highs push the upper 80s and even low 90s today.
This morning, in an email obtained by KREM 2, the University of Idaho is releasing new guidance to respond to the state's abortion laws. That now includes very strict guidelines on the distribution of birth control.
The U of I told staff that it's taking a conservative approach to Idaho's abortion ban, which states that medical providers could face felony charges for the, quote, prevention of contraception. Now, KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk has more on what the email contains and what students have to say following the news.
Well, a lot of students were shocked and surprised by this news. A lot of them use this clinic to get their prescriptions, including birth control. Now they'll have to look elsewhere, potentially across the border to Pullman's Planned Parenthood. In that email obtained by KREM 2, the university is also warning staff that they could face felony charges and prison time for promoting services for abortion or the prevention of conception while on the job, since they are state employees working in state-owned buildings. This memo comes following the passage of 2 state laws banning abortions. Students on campus tonight reacting to these changes.
This is so close to us, and we're supposed to use the clinic, so that's kind of crazy that we can't use it for that.
I think it's really unfortunate. I think that's the best way to put it, respectfully, because obviously it goes above the university. But just the fact that the university, like a college that's well known for supporting their students, especially in healthcare, because we saw that through COVID and stuff, it's just unfortunate that they have to follow the state legislation, because it doesn't benefit the students and it can actually create a lot of issues.
Also in the memo, the university says clinics can still provide condoms, but only for the prevention of STDs and not to prevent a pregnancy. We reached out to the university for a comment. They provided us this statement saying, in part, the University of Idaho follows all laws. This is a challenging law for many and has real ramifications for individuals in that it calls for individual criminal prosecution. This guidance was sent to help our employees understand the legal significance and possible actions of this new law passed by the Idaho legislature. Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Well, following the university's new guidance, Planned Parenthood sent us a statement.
Now, the organization says, quote, "We always knew extremists wouldn't stop at banning abortion. They'd target birth control next." The University of Idaho's announcement is the canary in the coal mine, an early sign of the larger coordinated effort to attack birth control access.
In the university's email, they say the enforcement procedures of the law are currently unclear. However, this communication is a preventative measure to inform staff of potential risk and penalties that come with violating the state's abortion law, which includes, quote, promoting abortion. In the email, it says employees could face felony convictions, loss of state employment, and a permanent bar from future state employment. This is a developing story, and we'll continue to bring you updates when we learn more.
It's 6:06 now, time for your morning rush. More news in less time. 2 men are dead after a car crash on Highway 57. Now, this happened yesterday afternoon in Bonner County. 2 cars were traveling in the opposite direction on Highway 57 when one of the cars crossed into the opposite lane, hitting that other car head on. The drivers of both cars died at the scene. Neither driver was wearing a seatbelt. Last night, Spokane City Council voted to pursue funding for a regional law enforcement training center. Now, according to a press release from the city, SPD's current training center is in bad shape, but it still serves as the department's primary training center for SPD and other law enforcement agencies. The resolution will commit the city to working with Washington State Legislature to pursue funding for a regional training center. The Northern Lakes Fire District is getting a $4.5 million grant to hire 12 new firefighters. The district responds to fires in 108 square miles in the Rathdrum, Hayden, and Twin Lake areas. Right now, they have 39 firefighters on staff. The district will also be building a new fire station, but that will not be funded by this grant. And that's a look at your morning rush.